Good afternoon and welcome to your short Friday flow session today. You have me, Kaitlyn. We're going to be moving through 15 minutes of gentle movements and stretches, and we're really going to be aiming today to shake off anything that's happened in the week, to leave behind, let it be what it was, and move into the weekend with some relaxation, a calmed mind, and hopefully a little bit of a relaxed body as well, so that we can have a beautiful weekend and move into next week nice and fresh. So I'm going to be inviting you to join me through a couple of different exercises today. Just follow along with me, take it at your own pace. Don't feel like you have to do exactly what I'm doing. Please adapt it to your space and your body for what is best for you. I'm just going to guide us through and try and relax as much as possible. We're going to be looking at a few breathing exercises as well, so please join in. Oxygen is the key in many areas, so please join me for some deep breaths throughout. Before we get started, just a couple of things as always. Any music that we use today, Exum do not own, and we intend no copyright by using it. I've just got, it's called Chill Mix on my phone, so I've literally just got a playlist going. It's nice, relaxing music that we can just have on in the background to drown out any noises from outside or elsewhere. Let us take a little bit of time for ourselves. It's only 15 minutes, so really indulge in it. I've also got some water, really key to keep drinking throughout, especially when we're stretching. Nice to help flush those toxins out of the body that are released when we stretch. And I've got one more prop today. So I've got a towel, and it's going to help us for our relaxation exercises to begin with. All right, so I'll give you a couple of seconds. Please feel free to pause me and you can go and grab those props. Okay, great. We're going to get started. Hopefully you've found the props that you're looking for. We're going to grab our towel to begin with. I'm just going to turn the music up a little bit. Hopefully you can hear that jingling away. So we're going to grab our towel and fold it. I folded mine twice. And I'm just going to take the long side. You can take the short side if you want. And I'm just going to roll it up nice and loose. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we're going to place it onto the floor. And you've probably already guessed what we're going to do today. So hopefully you can see this. This is going to act as a little tool to help open up my spine a bit more, help me to relax. And I'm going to lie across it. I'm going to place my lower back here. I'm going to lie across it so it's going up my spine. And as we do that, we're going to open the arms. We're going to invite some space into the body, a little bit of breath, relaxation. We're going to stay there for quite a long time, so indulge in it. Take your time. It's okay. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to come down to the floor. I'm going to place, like I said, my lower back at the base of the towel. I'm just going to roll back onto it gently, and it's right in the middle of where my spine is. I've got my feet on the ground for the moment and my knees placing upwards. I'm going to open my arms to the side nice and wide, just to help open the chest and the shoulder blades a little bit more. Just going to let my body relax down here into the towel. Feel a nice opening down the back. If you want, if you'll feel settled here, you can have a little play with the legs. You can straighten them out. That might feel more comfortable for you. Or you could join the feet and open the knees for a little bit of a hip opener as well. And once we're settled here, we're just going to find a few nice deep breaths. We're going to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's do that a couple more times. We're breathing in new energy, and we're exhaling all of the old, all of everything that happened last week that we want to forget about, that we don't want to hold on to anymore. Keep breathing. New energy in. Feel free to sigh. Make whatever sound you want to on your out breath. It's your space. It's your way of letting go, whatever that is. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Breathing out. we're doing this, just trying to lengthen those breaths, breathing in. Good. And bringing our feet back to the ground if we've moved our legs, allowing the body to settle here again. Still being conscious of our breath. We're not going to take too many quick actions today. It's our time to slow down, taking our time to indulge. Let's roll off of the towel onto our side, dropping the knees. Use the hands to push us up. We're going to stick with this towel for another exercise, but this time I'm going to turn it so that it's sideways. Hopefully you can still see that, yeah. And I'm going to place it right underneath my shoulder blades. So I'm still working on opening the back and opening the chest. It's going to help us with our breath. If we've been sat down a lot this week, we might have been at a computer or at a desk at school, and we often tend to close in, or when we're looking at our phone, we close the shoulders in, we close the back in. It's just nice to re-establish this opening a little bit more in our back. It makes us feel a little bit freer. We hold a lot of tension in our shoulders, so taking the time to do this is really important for ourselves as well. All right, before I talk anymore, let's get the towel into place. So like I said, it's going to go right on the bottom of the shoulder blades, okay? It should feel comfortable. If it feels uncomfortable, please move, please change. And this time, it's across our back. So we're going to tip the head up and over that towel. And like I said, it should feel nice and comfortable. So if it doesn't, feel free to have a little bit of a shift. You might need it to go a little bit lower. And this time, you can open the arms again if you want to, but we're going to challenge ourselves to raise those arms up overhead, and it should just intensify this stretch a little bit more. And again, we're just going to allow the body to settle here for a few seconds, feet on the ground, knees pointing upwards. If you want to, please close your eyes. And once you've established a comfortable position here, feel free again to play around with the legs. Straighten them might feel nice this time, or again, you can join the feet, open the knees for a little bit of a hip stretch. This time, straight feels better for me. You can always leave the feet on the floor and the knees pointing upwards as well, so feel free to do that. And we're just going to reintroduce our breath again. So breathing in deeply through the nose, trying to fill our belly with as much of that air as possible. And breathing out through the mouth. Really trying to fill up as much of our lungs as possible. Again, making absolutely any noises we want to on the out breath. Breathing in. New energy. Breathing out. Oh, letting go what was. A couple more times, breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in nice and long. Breathing out. If you want to have any shifts whilst we're doing this on the towel, please feel free. You don't have to stay in the same position. Really filling those lungs up. Let's do one more big deep breath. And out. Lovely. Let's bring our feet back to the floor, knees upwards. We're going to roll onto the side again, pushing up with the hands. Taking your time, just so we don't pull anything in the back or anything like that. This time, last exercise with the towel, we're going to use the towel on a horizontal position again. And this time, we're going to place it underneath the front of the hips. And it should just help open up. I get quite a lot of tension in my lower back, so I do this quite often with a pillow. If you want to do that as well, sometimes I sleep with a little thin pillow underneath my hips, and that really helps relieve some pressure in my sacrum and my lower back. So please do this if you have pressure in your lower back, it's really useful. Today, I'm just going to take the towel so it's not too much of a stretch. It's nice and small, so we can do it together. And we're going to place it, like I said, underneath our hips. We're going to go forward. So take your time doing this. Take time to establish where that is, and you really want that to be right in the fold at the top part of our hips. I'm going to use my hands this time to stabilize my head so that my spine is straight. If I was to twist my head sideways, that's okay, but you are twisting your spine and you might pull your neck a little bit. So I'm using my hands underneath my forehead just so that I can still look down, focus on my spine being nice and straight, and really release those hips into the floor. And have any shifts that you want to. Again, this is time for you, so it should feel comfortable, it should feel nice and opening in the lower back. Feel free to have a shift of where you place your legs and your knees. Wider might be nicer, closer. Again, you could join the feet and open the hips if you want to. For me, a slightly wider position helps. And sometimes I just like to rock my pelvis from side to side to really help encourage that relaxation. And we're just going to stay here for another 30 seconds. Still being aware of our breath, still trying to have nice, long, deep inhalations. Good. 10 more seconds here, really relaxing down into the floor. Let those hips open up. Really imagine the pelvis, the sacrum spreading and expanding. Good. And just bringing your feet, your legs back to how we were at the beginning, so into our established position. This time I'm going to place my hands next to my chest. I'm just going to use those to push me upwards, bringing my bum back onto my heels, just like we would in child's pose. That brings us to the end of our exercise with our towel, so just place that over to one side. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit more open now, and your back's feeling a little bit freer. We're going to move on to some other gentle movement, a little bit more of fluidity. So just follow along with me. We're going to take it nice and easy. We're going to keep moving a little bit and open up the body a little bit more. Okay, so just to finish our session today, we're going to come back up onto our feet, and we're just going to focus on stretching out a little bit more. We're just going to move through some exercises. So we're not looking at really pushing and expanding our flexibility right now. We're just looking at opening up any stiff areas of the body that may have been sitting for a long period of time throughout the week. All right, so just joining me, we're going to have lots of shifts. Like I said earlier, if anything feels a bit weird, then please feel free to change it, to have any shifts you want to, or adapt any of the movements so that it works for your body and opens up any stiffness that you have. All right, so focusing again on these nice deep inhalations and exhalations, really going to help us throughout. We're just going to begin with a nice loose parallel, gentle bend of the knees. We're just going to have a few bounces here. Letting the head be loose, letting the arms be loose, and the shoulders. Getting these shoulders involved in that bounce a little bit if we want to. We're just going to make this bounce smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Good, until we're back to our standing position. And if at any point when I'm talking you want to close your eyes and really indulge and be internal in it, please do. You'll see me doing it throughout as well. From here, I'm going to bend my knees and stretch my hands upwards, and I'm going to have a nice shift through the side. Really lovely. Good. Let's stretch both those hands upwards through the waist, pulling out from the hips. I'm going to dive the hands down into the head down. I'm going to take a nice slow roll down here. And I've got a nice loose bend in the knee. Like I said, we're not going for full-on stretches. We've not been moving legs. We're not really warm. So we're not expanding our flexibility. We're just opening and loosening the body. And just having a few shifts of the head, of the arms here. You can bounce your knees again. Just encouraging the body to ease and relax.
This really helps to stretch my back. I really feel it. We're going to bend the knees nice and deeply so we can roll all the way up, rolling the shoulder blades down the back. And we're just going to take that roll down one more time, so tucking the chin into the chest. Nice, heavy, long arms. Really slow roll down. Pay attention to the spine. If there's any tricky parts, you might want to wait there longer. Let them ease out. We're just going to keep the knees bending so we go down towards the floor. We're going to gently lower those knees, untuck those toes. I'm going to open my knees so that my torso can fit in between them. I'm going to stretch my arms out in front. I'm going to place my forehead on the floor. Into a nice child's pose. This should really help open back, open the shoulders. Pushing into those hands will help open the shoulders more. Establish your bum onto your heels. Continue focusing on our breath. I'm just going to take one arm, I'm going to thread it through this gap, turning sideways, having a nice twist in the spine. And coming back, swapping sides, other arm underneath, twisting the other way. Come back. Good. I'm going to come forward so that I'm on all fours. And I do this a lot. I call it happy cat, angry cat. And then somebody said disco cat. So we're going to just continue working on mobilizing the spine. It's a huge part of our body and something I feel we forget about often. So happy cat, angry cat. We're pushing the spine upwards, looking through the legs. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Then we're going to go the opposite way. So we're going to drop the spine, and we're going to look forward, pushing the pelvis up, nice arch in the back. And we're just going to do this a couple more times. Again, remembering to breathe, that oxygen is really going to help create space in the body, help us opening up, relaxing anything that may be a little bit stiff right now. One more time, nice arch. And then from here, this is where our disco cat comes into play. So we're going to shift, we're going to imagine the spine moving in a nice circle. And we're just going to involve those side spaces in our body a little bit more. Having a little play here, it doesn't just have to be a circle, it could be a snake. Whatever helps shift and release any tension for you. Continuing with our breath. Sticking with any areas that may feel more awkward for you. You might want to shift a little bit forwards and back on your hands as well. Good. And then from here, we're just going to bring it back down into a child's pose. This time, my knees are straight and I'm just folding over the top. Walking hands up. We're just going to untuck the legs. For the last little bit, we're going to have a little bit of time in our uncrossed cross-legged position. So if you haven't seen me do this before, it's the same as cross-legged, but rather than the feet being tucked underneath, they're untucked so there's space and everything is flat on the floor. We're just going to have a little bit of a stretch here, relaxing forwards. It's our last few moments for those deep breaths, so really indulging now. Bring the hands back up, we're going to swap the feet. Just going to do that one more time on each side. Foot in front, folding forward. Each time trying to relax down more, opening the hips, stretching those glutes. You can have some shifts from side to side, again keeping this active rather than passive. And maybe you want to stay a little bit longer in any tight spots. For me, going over this side really opens up my hip. And then we're just going to walk back up, soften the feet. Last time, last side. Folding forwards, relaxing down. Establish that breath first so that we can relax as much as possible. Keep being active in it, moving. And again, just shifting from side to side. Trying not to stretch too far. We're just opening, like I've said. Focusing on that breath, making sure we can stay relaxed and comfortable, walking the hands up. Let's just take a few seconds here on the floor. If you want to, you can uncross your legs, you can have a little lie down if you prefer. And I'm just going to invite you, if you haven't already, to close your eyes. Bringing our attention into our breath again. You may want to place your one hand on your heart, on your chest, and one hand on your belly. I'm just going to focus on expanding those 2 points. Filling the belly and chest. And emptying it. In with the new. Out with the old. Just reminding ourselves that we've achieved a lot this week. And that we're grateful for all of the things that our body and our mind are helping us to achieve, no matter how big or small. We've had a lot of new things, a lot of expansion at the moment, a lot of opening and everything that we're doing in society. So just allowing time for our body and our mind to shift through that and readjust to some areas that we may not have visited for a long time. Maybe back at school, maybe back at work. And just thanking ourselves for everything that we've been able to do. Reminding ourselves it's okay to let go of the things that we don't need and hold on to the things that we do and use those to help us moving forward instead. Let's open our eyes. Let's find our way back up to standing, nice and gentle. However that is for you, might be a nice slow roll up, rolling the shoulders down the back, having a nice little shake out. And that does bring us to the end of our Friday Flow session. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you soon. Enjoy your weekend, have a fantastic time. Please take these exercises and use them as much as you want. Every day if you want to, you can do them in the morning or the afternoon, just to help open up the body and shift a bit of energy. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you later.